comes to weaponry, the goal isn't just to have something that is effective, though that definitely helps. It's also important to go and make weapons that can truly advance things. Firearms and bombs have evolved greatly since their creation, and with each new year, new ideas are coming to take weaponry into the realm of sci-fi. And we don't mean that Terminators are coming, though it's only a matter of time. But there are some weapons that might make even Terminators flinch if you can believe it. So allow us to show you the most insane futuristic weapons. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 7. Laser weapons. When a sci-fi movie or TV show comes out, what do they think will be the future of weaponry? Laser weapons, more times than not. They have different names, but they all have the same function. They're a portable laser kind of weapon that does various amounts of damage. The irony of laser weapons is that, in theory, they are possible in the near future. Mainly because we do have lasers of all kinds here on Earth right now, including ones that are used to cut metal with extreme precision. The downside is that these lasers, the ones that hurt anyway, take a lot of power to fuel its focused beams. Making a laser pointer is easy, and it doesn't hurt outside of shining in your eye. And though there are laser weapons out there in the world right now, like in the US Navy, they're massive, and not exactly the most portable things around. But they do work, there's no denying that. More than likely, someone will come up with the idea that allows laser weapons to be portable and put into the hands of soldiers eventually. The only question is when and who will make them. After that happens, the question will be, how big will they take it? Number 6. EMP bombs. EMP stands for electromagnetic pulse. It was a byproduct found in the original atomic bomb tests. The bombs discharged an incredible amount of electric energy that shorted out things in a certain area. And they've since refined the technology to be small, portable, and able to wipe out whole cities. If you recall the movie Ocean's 11, they used a version of an EMP to go and black out Las Vegas for their heist. That wasn't an exaggeration of what a true EMP can do. The reason we're calling this a true future weapon is to imagine if they're able to amplify it to such a degree that they're able to knock out the electricity in not just a city, but a whole country. It's true that nuclear destruction is a viable threat, but if you were to knock out the electronics of a whole country, especially one like the United States, England, China, or Japan, that would literally send them back to the Stone Age. Everything that they built up to make life easier would be useless. And not so ironically, EMPs are illegal to build outside of the military, and the government of the US has been working to counteract an EMP attack. So if these nations are wanting to make sure that these devices don't go off near them, that should give you pause. Number 5. Magnetohydrodynamic explosive munition. Mayhem. Battling armored vehicles isn't easy. The preferred weapon of choice to dispose of them is an RPG. But technology has advanced in such a way that a new type of missile warhead has been created. This is called the Magnetohydrodynamic Explosive Munition, or Mayhem. Typical RPGs use an explosive charge to fire the rocket head, but here, a magnetic flux generator actually launches the rocket forward towards its target. While this may not seem like a big difference, the magnetic version is actually more accurate, as well as more efficient. Not to mention that because it doesn't need an explosive charge to launch it, it's actually a bit safer than previous models. The rocket heads themselves have molten metal within them, allowing them to better penetrate the armored vehicles they're targeting. Now, how active this is in the military is unknown, but if they are as effective as hoped, this could lead to a new wave of weapons that could take down any vehicle. And that's definitely something that many armies of the world would want. But what if instead they have an army of smaller vehicles? Number 4. Drone armies. You already know of weapons like Predator drones that are able to go and drop missiles with good accuracy on targets while their pilots are hundreds of thousands of miles away. You also know of drones that are used for recon missions and have a variety of cameras used to spy on targets. But those are just the first generation of drone warfare, if you will. They are growing, and some of them are being tested right now in frighteningly efficient manners. There are drones that are a fraction of the size of Predators, and are able to carry a handgun and fire it, a machine gun and fire it accurately, and even drop smaller bombs on more focused targets. Imagine a legion of drones that can rain down bullets from the sky with great accuracy and wipe out a squad of foes before they even realize what's shooting at them. Many feel that's the future of warfare, and it's getting closer with each drone advancement. Plus, remember there are drones that are able to do racing at high speeds. Imagine having a drone that acts as a bomber and just needs to ram into a target to explode. That would be not just physical, but mental warfare. Number 3. Heart attack gun. There are various boogeyman organizations out there in the world today that are said to have all sorts of secret devices and weapons that aren't known to the public. But few are as spooky and mysterious as the CIA and their arsenal. Especially during the Cold War, they were willing to do and make just about anything to ensure America would survive. But during the Watergate scandal, a committee was instituted to try and figure out just how much power the CIA honestly had and how to rein them in, which led to the discovery of the heart attack gun. Now, before you go all science fiction and think that they made a gun that could shoot rays that would bombard the heart to make it fail, it wasn't that at all. Rather, it was an altered pistol that wouldn't need bullets, but rather would fire darts that were lined with shellfish toxin. The darts were so small that they wouldn't even leave a pinprick on the body. Yet the toxin would be so deadly that it could cause a heart attack and make it seem like there was no foul play involved. What does that have to do with the future? Simple. While they would have had to use toxin in the past to induce the effect, that's not necessarily true now. There are sound waves and pressure waves that can go and induce certain things in the body, and that means that a true heart attack gun could be possible. What's more, there are variations on this weapon that technically are in development now, like a literal heat gun that can make soldiers faint after getting overheated, sound guns that'll allow vehicles to emit frequencies that can incapacitate foes, and more. In a way, a heart attack would be the least of our worries. Number 2. Autonomous robot vehicles. AI, aka artificial intelligence, is something many nations are not just trying to make, but implement into their armies. But for the true future weapons application, imagine an AI commanding a squad of vehicles on its own and not just firing weapons, but adapting to the battlefield situation in order to move out the fleet and secure victory. At present, robot vehicles are out in the field, but most have simple functions or have remote controls. That will change though, and some are already adapting in major ways that could cause a lot of problems for people. With each new iteration, the vehicles will grow, and eventually, who knows how massively powerful they'll become. Number 1. Project Thor. In the movie G.I. Joe Retaliation, Cobra Commander instituted a plan to put satellites into space that would drop massive rods of metal from the sky to the ground with such devastation that it would destroy a city, even being shown destroying London with just one drop. Believe it or not, this is a real project that was considered by the United States, and it would be called Project Thor. It's believed that the project was never fully implemented due to the cost of making it and getting the massive rods up to space. But many presidents considered it for an obvious reason: lack of fallout. With a rod of solid tungsten like Project Thor would drop, the metal would just be dropped and the kinetic energy it would build up would just plow into the earth with such force, it would be like a nuclear bomb, but with no damage outside the kinetic. Now, officially this was never made, back then, but now, who knows? And what's worse, they might think of a variation on that which will go and change how things are done and yet be even more destructive. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at the weapons of the near future, and ones that are out now that are truly futuristic? Can you believe the creativity behind some of these weapons and what they can do? Do you think that some of these weapons are too much for the current world? What do you think will be the next great weapon idea to be born? Let us know in the comments below, be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.